Doesn't anybody love me? Have you ever noticed just how often we're tempted with this thought? You see it all the time in movies or in stories. Some strange turn of events happens, and the main character goes off into a corner somewhere to feel sorry for herself. Inevitably, she blurts out a line like, "Nobody cares about me," or "Nobody loves me," or "I just wish I could find true love," right? So the quest continues. True love is the ultimate prize in a love story, but all too often we don't even know how to define true love. After all, what makes love true? What's the defining characteristic of love that makes it mean all that it can possibly mean? I would suggest that these are important questions to answer because if we never properly define what constitutes this elusive love, then how will we ever know when we find it? Now, I don't have to go down the path to share a bunch of cliches or weird quotes with you, but I'm going to because what fun would it be if I didn't, right? So here we go. Here's a quote for you. True love is like ghosts, which everyone talks about and few have seen. That quote was from a guy named Francois de la Fontaine. I can't pronounce his name. He's French, and I don't speak French, but I know garbage when I see it, and that sure is a load of human excrement, if you ask me. Here's another one. True love will triumph in the end, which may or may not be a lie. But if it is a lie, it's the most beautiful lie we have. John Green said that, and I don't have a clue who he is, but I know he doesn't have a clue about true love or lies for that matter. But maybe that's for a different conversation. Kira Cass said, true love is usually the most inconvenient kind. Boy, do I feel sorry for her and whoever she chooses to have as a inconvenience in her life. And here's one more from you, from the beloved William Shakespeare. He wrote this in a Midsummer Night's Dream, excuse me. The course of true love never did run smooth. Again, I just don't get the misunderstanding that our society has about love. But then again, maybe I do. You see, each of these quotes is about the romantic kind of love. And I get it. There's certainly some confusion about the different kinds of love that are available to us. But until we can get certain on a couple of things, we'll never be fully secure in who we were made to be or how we're supposed to thrive in a world that is seemingly so devoid of love. When we label something as being difficult to attain, or even worse yet, impossible to attain, then it makes it easier for us to just give up. That decision, brings with it a cop-out mentality where we just sit back and we go into survival mode. We're taught to lower our expectations in life so that we don't get disappointed too easily. And this is a coping mechanism that literally millions of people practice on a regular basis. This habit starts out innocently enough. You go and you try out for a basketball team or a part in the school play. And after you go out and do your best, you sit back and you say, well, I gave it my all. I'm not sure if it was good enough. Jimmy or Sally, they did a great job, and maybe they're the right person for the spot on that team or that position in the play, that role for the play. And then by doing this, we slowly begin to temper our expectations in life. We don't want to get hurt, so we move the goalposts and we decide that it may not be our course in life to get this thing or to go to that place. Now, don't misunderstand me. I fully understand the importance of setting proper expectations. If you try out for a basketball team and you stink, then you should probably understand that you may not get a spot on that team. After all, being delusional about one's own skill set never leads to a great outcome. But where this love thing is concerned, that should absolutely never be the case. Why, you might ask? Because this true love that everyone's seeking is the most important force known to man. It surpasses expectations, always makes sure that the target is hit. It sustains, upholds, elevates, calms, soothes, reassures, and it even strengthens us when we need it the most. It's patient, it's kind, it doesn't envy the person standing next to it. It doesn't parade itself around and desire to be the center of attention. It isn't puffed up. It isn't rude. It doesn't seem to put itself first. It doesn't think the worst about someone else and all the hope that's there. It doesn't get excited when the wrong things happen and seem to be inching further ahead in life. Instead, love is so joyful when the truth is proclaimed. It bears up a solid foundation under anything that comes its way. It always is ready to believe the best in every person. Its hope is fadeless under any and all circumstances. In fact, I read somewhere one time that love was so amazing that it actually never fails. It never fades out. It never becomes obsolete or comes to an end. Now, I think some of you might have guessed that the Bible shared each of these truths about love that I just shared. And in the end, I believe that love is so vastly misunderstood because people don't understand God. Or perhaps in some ways, it's the other way around. Maybe people refuse to understand who God is because they refuse to accept the simplicity of love. Why? because we live in a fallen world of selfishness. It's difficult to think that we could actually love someone without preconditions. So we shun people. And in doing so, we shun God. And the irony is that if we would just accept Him and receive Him into our lives and all that He wants to provide us, then the rest of the answers would become crystal clear. I have one more quote for you. Maybe Julia Roberts was onto something when she said this. She said, "True love doesn't come to you, it has to be inside you." Now we're getting somewhere with this one, and she's about half right with this one, but at least she got half of it right, right? She's right in that love needs to be on the inside of you. But she's way off base when she says that it doesn't come to you. Now, why, you may ask? Well, because in and of ourselves, we can't love, at least not with the true love or truly pure love. That love needs to come from someone bigger and more perfect than us. It absolutely has to come to us. And so that brings us to probably the most well-known verse in the entire Bible. John 3:16 starts out by saying, "For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son." So, if you've ever wondered, doesn't anybody love me? Yeah, somebody does love you. His name is Jesus, and His Father actually is love. He doesn't just have love as an attribute. The Bible says that God is love. And God, who is love, sent Jesus here specifically for you. The Father of love sent His Son, who is love, in the flesh to earth specifically for you, specifically for me. And when we receive that simple gift, when you receive that gift, everything else changes. You won't be on the hamster wheel of life anymore, running after something so hard, yet never getting anywhere with it. God will completely change your life. Love will transform you from the inside out. You won't just have someone love you unconditionally for the rest of your days, though. You'll also be able to live out the supply of that love in your life. You'll be a vessel of that love for every person that crosses your path. No matter what life throws at you, you'll never fail because His love never fails. And that, my friends, is good news.